Hello, 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 and welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We are in the fabulous Flight Factor A320, and we are currently at we're at Frankfurt, Maine. Yes, indeed, we're at Frankfurt, Maine, and we are flying for Lufthansa today. We are flying from Frankfurt. We're doing a very short little flight over to Berlin, Tegel. And we're pretty much all set up, ready to go, which is good. So let us just check. We are all good and gravy. So yeah, we're all set. The APU is on, the aircraft is set up, the passengers have been loaded, the fuel has been loaded. Cargo wise, we have 3.6 tons of cargo, kind of spread evenly out across the airframe. Passengers 122, and fuel, we have 5.2 tons of fuel loaded, which is more than enough to get us from here to Berlin. Performance data gives us the following: center of gravity 33.2, zero fuel weight 55.1. Of course, this has all been loaded into the SMC already. Zero fuel weight 55.1 tons, and zero fuel weight center of gravity is 33.1, 5.2 tons of fuel. Performance wise, we are looking at 122 knots V1, VR also the same. Obviously, we're at 4 km runway here, taking off from 25 center at Frankfurt. Gives us a V2 speed of 126. So I'm going to go ahead and set yellow. I'm going to go ahead and set that at 150. And cruising altitude today is going to be 31,000 feet. But let's just assume air traffic have given us an initial clearance to climb to flight level 6,000 feet initially. We are taking the following route. So this is our route out of Frankfurt. We're taking off from 25 center. We're going to follow the maroon. Sorry, no, we're not. We're following Toba 7G. So we're going to come out slight right, slight left, and then follow all the way around through to Toba 7G. Our flight plan looks a little bit like this. More or less the same as that. So what we've got is we are flying the following route along these waypoints. So the Toba 5, well actually this is slightly out of date. The air rack on this is not as up to date as what I've got installed in the aircraft. Anyway, the route is more or less the same. We're following the route of 5B into Berlin Tegel, however you pronounce it. My apologies if I'm pronouncing that incorrectly. So the route in will be from the south, Ruda 5V. So we'll be coming from Oxat, Rudak, and then to here. We're landing runway 26 right, which is the longer of the runways on at Berlin. We could obviously land at 26 left, but I just decided we're going to land on runway 26 right. Obviously air traffic will clear us for whatever landing we happen to be in. So back to the sim then. We are pretty much, as I said, all set up, ready to go. I'm just going to use pre-plan our pushback here with the fabulous Better Pushback plugin. We are, let's just double check where we are. Right, we're taking off from 257. Okay, so that's great. So we're going to push back out and to the right. Actually, let's put a marker here and then we're going to put another marker just there so we're not blocking the road.
Ground to cockpit. Plan acknowledged. Call me through the menu.
Great stuff. Alright. So let's just have a quick review of the route. Select flight plan. So we're on 10 miles, it's 20 miles. So out, following October 7G, right hand turn, climbing up through Turbine, Tobak. KLF is going to take us to Irma, and then it's kind of ziggy zag in all the way through to 26. Right. So without further ado, our APU is on and running. Seatbelts now are on. Let's call the tug. In fact, actually, let's disconnect the the ground power unit first, because the Flight Factor A320 does not like it if you are connected to the ground power unit and you summon the tug, it disconnects it, which is not cool. Excuse me. Alright, so let's go ahead and call the tug.
To cockpit. Tow is driving up.
Out the cockpit. Tow is driving up. Excellent. Alright, so the tug's on its way. Everything is okay here. We're all aligned. IRSs are all aligned. All the radios are on. Everything is done. We're kind of, like I said, already set up and ready to go. There is our tug. Runway 25 center is kind of behind us. And over there. That is runway 25 center right there. So we are going to taxi out along the following taxi route. Now let's just go back to EDDF and have a look at which taxi route we're going to take.
Okay, all doors and hatches are closed. Ready to connect. Set parking brake.
Parking brake is set, my good man. So we are currently here. I think it's stand. I can't remember exactly which stand it is, but we're about here. So we're going to come out onto November. And we're going to take a left onto November, down to November 3, and then we're going to take a left onto Lima, and then we're going to line up and wait on Lima 3 for runway 25 center. So that is the plan. My apologies if I get it wrong. Which, there's basically a good chance to get it wrong. Okay, so the handbrake is currently set.
Connected and bypass pin inserted.
Let us turn the beacon on. And we may now release the parking brake.
Starting pushback, and you may start the engines.
Right, we're good for engine start. So before engine start, make sure the APU bleed is on.
Herzlich willkommen.
Bienvenidos.
Yeehaw. Namaskar. Benvenuti. Yokoso.
أهلا ومرحبا بكم.
Beacon is on. Don't need any of these exterior lights on just yet. But we can get ready to start the engine, so we're going to turn the selector to start. We're going to start engine number 2 first. So let's go ahead and start engine number 2. Thrust levers are right. See, now, any professional pilot would have made sure that they did the before anything checklist and made sure that the throttles were set to 0. The problem they have with this airplane, for some reason, even though my throttles are actually set to 0, it hasn't forward. Perhaps it's just trying to catch me out. Who knows? Either way, well done. We are going to squawk today 7446 is our squawk. We're going to put it on Tara already because it's not going to actually set until TRRA until we actually get airborne. Okay, we have what looks like a good start on engine number 2 already. Alright, ECAM reports we have a good start on engine number 2. Let's go ahead and start engine number 1. Hydraulic PTU activating right there, which is that barking sound on an Airbus A320. So, spooling up engine number 1. I do love the flight back to A320. It is absolutely fabulous little aeroplane. If you do not have it already, drop what you're doing right now and go and buy it. If you like flying Airbuses, this is an outstandingly good little aeroplane. There are a few little tweaks and things that, that the team need to address, but really it really is one of the very best airplanes that you can get for X-Plane right now. That and the Thales A319, both exceptionally good little airplanes. Alright, so let's go ahead and set park and brake. The pushback has been completed. We have a good start on engine number 1 as well. We may now shut down the APU. The strobes are set to auto, the beacon is on, wing lights we don't need, nav and tail light are both also on. Park brake is set. Let us do a flight control check. So full left, correct, full right, full up, full down, and rudder full left, rudder full right. All good. Everything is working as intended. This really is a great plane to fly.
Tower disconnected and bypass pin has been removed. Hand signal on the right. I'll see you next time.
Hand signal on the right. So we'll just wait for the dude to finish doing what he needs to do. And before we say there's the tug. Oh, you know one thing we haven't done? Whilst my first officer over here is waiting for the hand signal and pin to appear on the right side of the aeroplane. There he is. Thank you very much, dude. I am going to go ahead and set the correct QNH, which I should have done before. Altimeter is 3012 currently at Frankfurt. Altimeter 3012. Now, setting it actually on this, the captain side will set it automatically on the pilot side as well. Okay, so we can now go ahead and set up flaps. For 2, we're going to set the rejected takeoff on the auto brakes to maximum, and we are going to select spoilers to arm. Takeoff config. All green, no blue. Great. So, runway turn off lights to on. Taxi lights on. Cycle the seatbelt sign. Handbrake is off. A little bit of throttle to get us unstuck on the tarmac, but not too much. Okay. So our route was out onto November and then right onto November 3, left onto Lima, and then Lima 3 to 25 center. Alright, we're already busting the speed limit. On the apron here, so a little bit of brakes to slow down. There we go. Apron speed limits are usually less than 10 knots. We're doing 11 knots, so let's just hope we don't get a pilot deviation through from ground. Speaking of which, let us switch over from clearance to departure. Let's go to the departure tower. Whilst keeping an eye on where we're going on. Plane going in a straight line, turns. Going in a straight line! Alrighty, so down to the end right there is November 3. This will be November 5, which is kind of double back at more of an angle. It's more of people coming this way than us taking a right hand turn. This is a great scenery, by the way, for Frankfurt. Bought from the Aerosoft store. It is the Frankfurt AM main. Also, we've got I've got some orthos installed. Ortho sceneries installed for around the Frankfurt area, and also for around Berlin as well. So we'll do some outside shots of that, so that we can soak up all the lovely scenery. One of the things I do love about X-Plane, and I do use Prepare 3D as well, but I just don't use it as much. I've got, well, quite frankly, more money invested in X-Plane than I have in Prepare 3D. I do like Prepare 3D. I do love the depth of simulation you get with that simulator. I just can't beat the visuals in X-Plane as far as I'm concerned, along with the flight modelling. Obviously, I've not flown an Airbus in the real world. I have been very lucky enough to have flown a full motion 737 simulator, 737-800, and I obviously have the Zibo mod for X-Plane, which is just unbelievable, considering that that is free. Really is an absolute testament to the guys, that to Zibo himself, for producing such an amazing product for free for the community. Is just hats off to the man, absolutely hats off to the man. There's actually a really good channel for people that want to actually learn proper procedures and proper operating procedures for the Boeing 737 flight deck to sim. He's an actual line check captain on the 737-800, so he absolutely knows what he's talking about. And he's also, his videos are very good, they're very entertaining. He goes through with exceptional detail exactly what you should be doing, when you should be doing it, and yeah, he makes it fun as well. Great channel, highly recommended. Also, if you are wanting to learn how to fly the Airbus A320, Reflected Reality Simulations YouTube channel. Again, he is an actual A320 pilot and knows the systems extremely well. Alright, so we're now holding short on Lima 3 for runway 25 center. We'll just pretend we've contacted ground. They're going to hand us over to Tower, and Tower have told us, okay, line up and wait on runway 25 center. We will set the landing lights to on. We are entering an active runway, so I'm going to set the strobes to on as well, even though they...
Approaching 25 center.
Even though the strobes will actually automatically come on once we enter, or manually anyway. So this is the aeroplane, so wonderfully mentioned. 25 center, so let's line up.
On runway 25
line up
center.
And wait, runway 25 center. Something like that. Now we're just going to hold the foot brake. Don't actually set the parking brake on an active runway. Set the packs off. Taxi lights to take off. We are all green and no blue on the ECAM. We're just waiting for Tower to give us clearance to take off, which they've just done, by the way. So throttles forward, around about 40% N1, holding it on the brake. Okay, engines is nicely stabilised at 40% N1, and forward to flex. Flex temperature of 65 set today. Slight forward pressure on the control stick to around about 80 times. bit of left rudder there. A lot of left rudder there. Right, all over the place. Right, we are at V1 already. Back on the stick. Airborne. Positive rate of climb. Gear up. We can actually go back on the stick a little bit more. Just follow those flight directives a little bit. Okay. Let's hit AP1 while we tidy up the aeroplane a little bit. Landing lights can go off. Sorry, not the landing lights. Right, that was what I'm doing. The taxi lights and the runway turn-off lights can go off. We need to turn the packs back on. We can turn the brake fan off. That is now set the thrust lever to climb. There's the beacon. Shut up. Alright, so we don't need to have the... Oops. There. Don't need to have those armed anymore. Alright. Good. We're already set TRRA. That's great. We are now climbing nice and steadily. The airplane has control of the speed. We're approaching 200 knots, so let's now drop to flaps 1. Steady climb out of Frankfurt. That's runway 18 just there. Oh no, it's not. Beg your pardon. We're flying over runway 18 over there. That is runway either 07 or 25, left or right. Alright, approaching 220 knots now. We're just going to drop the flaps down to 0. Clean. So we are climbing out to around about 6,000 feet. Thrust reduction altitude. Some cloud artifacts there on the orphan satellite images. Right, we'll rewind the sunshine a little bit. There we go. Cheating a little, I know. Okay, that's good. That's us at 6,000 feet. We can now set the QNH to standard. Contact departure and let them know that we are now at flight level 6,000, and then lo and behold they've said alright. Climb and maintain flight level 310. Flight level 310, aye aye, off we jolly well pop. It's Frankfurt AM Main. Been there many times myself. Amazing airport. Atlas runs with utter ruthless German officials. There's a slight kink in my flight plan here. I'm not quite sure why we were given an S-curve right there. This left-hand turn is unnecessary, I think. Still, not to worry. We're currently climbing at an enormous 3,700 feet a minute. That's because we're pretty light. V1 and V2 speed of 122 knots, so it's not much to us. Light as a feather. The town of Frankfurt is here. Frankfurt. Actually, Frankfurt's more. Is it more over? Yeah, I believe it's more over that area. So this is the right-hand turn now. We're climbing out on the SID. And there's 10,000 feet, so I'm going to go ahead and shut those off. I'm going to put that back onto auto. I'm going to flick this down to let my cabin crew know that they can be released. And once we reach around about 15,000 feet, release the passengers. Okay, so after takeoff checklist is complete. Pressurization is normal, there's no notes on the ECAM. Altimeter set to normal. Starting to accelerate now. Let's look at the outside, still climbing nicely. Not much in the way of clouds today. But never mind. Obviously the weather, I have the weather set to absolute real weather. Running SkyMax Pro Vision 4. But obviously if the actual real weather is saying there's no clouds and it's clear, then that's what we're going to get. Okie dokie. Now I'll leave this open here on the approach page, ready for us to start inputting our arrival meter. In the meantime, lovely ortho. Well, I'm going to just pretend that they're either massive, ginormous cobwebs, or there's a pot smoking festival going on down there in this particular town, and that's what these pots of white are. So yes, the A320, brilliant little airplane, worth every penny, in case you are wondering. I think I've got some X-camera presets enabled on this, so let's just have a look. I think I have. Yes, I do. It's pre-programmed camera transitions on X-camera, which again is a great little plugin. This is the walk around camera settings. Engine number 2, yes. Engine number 2 was found after a brief search along the wind. Wind was found after a brief search along the left-hand side of the fuselage. Yeah. Really is a great little airplane. 3D modelling is exquisite. Really, really nicely done. Intuitive use of PBR textures as well, which everybody loves. One of the things that really is an outstanding thing about X-Plane is PBR textures. Alright, so how many more camera angles do we have on the outside? Airbus A320, back now. My phone, always beeping. Great looking airplane. What other views do we have?
Southwest 4845, how you guys ready to go?
We're ready, 48, 45.
Southwest 4845, runway 19, clear for takeoff.
I do believe that my air traffic is not set up correctly. Let's get rid of the United States and have it Europe. There we go. That's the only downside of orthos. Eventually you run out of ortho tiles and it goes to default and you get these lines. But it's not the end of the world. It is not the end of the world. Crikey! Oh, you know what I didn't do? Let's... Oops. Right. X camera, enough of that. Let's release the passengers because I'm all dying to go to the loo. Alright, so route progress is looking good. We're coming to the top of the climb now, around about 36, 37 miles. No ECAM memos. Everything is looking peachy clean. Let's just double check and make sure that match real world conditions. Yeah, no, that's good. That's what it's supposed to be. So it's basically a straight shot from here to Rudak, which is our next waypoint. 156 miles away. Where the I'm pretty sure I've got a presets for inside. Yeah, we do. So the cruise stage of the flight, this is where the cabin crew bring the captain a nice sandwich. I should put my request in for whatever particular sandwich is on offer. Lovely slow-mo panning shots around the cabin. Alright, so let's just have a quick review of our route into Berlin. Alright, so here is our flight plan. From Rudak, which is here, to left at KLF, the last train to Trans-Central. Oh god, and then Irmas DT-14, and then we're going to be basically heading straight towards Berlin. We're going to pan a slightly more than 90-degree right-hand turn, and then double back on ourselves for our final approach into Berlin. Let's just double check. EDDT for Berlin Tegel. So we're going to be landing 26 right, which means we're going to probably, we're going to come off here. Taxi Romeo Whiskey. I'm thinking that stands for Romeo Whiskey rather than runway. So yeah, Romeo Whiskey, and then we're going to cross over the very end of 26 left onto Sierra Mike, and then we're going to follow it all the way down to the apron, and we're going to park along here somewhere. So straight in, off the Romeo Whiskey, onto Sierra Mike. In there, pretty straightforward approach. We're going to be coming in on the Ruta 5B to KLF. So that's our star, and at that point we go, where are we? ILS 26 right. ILS or localizer 26 right. So from there, Irmas, and then there's our right turn, our left hand turn from base downwind on the final, and we'll be following the ILS approach to 26 right. Pretty straightforward stuff. Nice and easy. Nice and easy. What's the weather doing outside? Oh, clouds! Crikey, you startled me. Nice clouds. See, I think the weather is actually pretty decent in Germany right now, so I don't think there's going to be any surprises weather-wise, which is cool. What we don't want is hairy weather on the way in. Excuse me. Great stuff. Put that back out. We're 119 miles left to run before our left hand turn back. Which is great. So what's happened in the news recently? Let's just have a quick look on Project Fly. See if I've got links to news articles. Updated X-Plane plugin and booted. Update 16? Sure, that means flight sim news. Alright, here we go. Orbex released San Diego International version 2. That'll be worth a look. Orbex stuff is obviously really good. I just wish they did more stuff for X-Plane. FlyJ Sim patch the 727 professional. Alright, so again, what's this telling us? Yeah, I need to get that. FlyJ Sim's 727 professional version 3. I did like the other one. On my other computer, actually I should just go ahead and download that. Although I think the version 3 is a paid update, I don't know. Either way, I think I'll definitely get it, because I do actually like his Dash 8. Really good little Dash 8. Yeah, that's a great airplane. 727 version 2, version 3. Alright, so that's great. Anything else? So, well, yeah, Orbex have released San Diego Airport. Anything else? Airworthy design previews oh, that's of interest to me. Airworthy Designs previews Princess Juliana Airport 1.5 update. Now, I was actually looking at this airport the other day on the org store. It looks pretty good, but from these pictures... Actually, let's see if we can we share that? Maybe, yeah. I think we can. Oh. Yeah, here we go. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Dude there with his arms up in the air. It's, that's good. You can actually tell that looks like a little Peugeot 106 perhaps. I don't know. Yeah, this looks really nice. This looks pretty nice. But actually, the other one looks pretty good as well. Look at the size of that windsock. That is a big ass windsock. Yeah, some nice ortho usage around here. Look at all the little boats. Actually, probably not that little. Ginormous, huge boats. Yeah, we may have to get this. It looks pretty good. Wonderful X-plane lighting. Night lighting is great. Yep, I think we're sold. Oh, that's nice reflective PBR scenery there. Yeah, great stuff. We like that. That's nice. Fab and groovy. Right, let's just check how we're getting on here. About 40 miles from top of descent. Alright, so let's have a quick review of what we need to be reviewing. So our approach, final descent altitude on the MCP is going to be 3,000 feet, where we will intercept the glide slope Rogab. And everything else is set up, so I'll just reset the MCP altitude to 3,000, and we should be good to go. It's getting dark. It's getting dark. I need to put some lights on. Cool. It's a great little plane for just pottering around, doing short trips. It actually does really good at doing long haul flights as well. Well, I say long haul, really long haul, of the 4 to 5 hour category. I did a flight, what was it, a couple of days ago. I did Honolulu, which is PHNL, I think, to Salt Lake City for Delta, which is normally done with a 767-300, but I thought, you know what, let's just take the because it's great. It's a nice little airplane to fly. So off we went, and yeah, it was a nice flight. Although it's great, the takeoff is great because there's some really nice scenery around Honolulu. And then you get airborne, and then you've got 4.5 hours of Pacific Ocean, which is pretty dull. And then the landing at Salt Lake City. Now I've got the Payware Salt Lake City scenery and a whole load of ortho tiles for around that area, so it's actually a really stunning approach at night. In the kind of sunset time, it's really quite beautiful. In fact, yeah, we have to do that next weekend, I think. We'll do a flight out. Actually, no, let's do a flight into Salt Lake City. Salt Lake City's a good place to fly into. It's a good place to fly out of, but I think it's, if you time it right and arrive just as the sun's setting, Salt Lake City is awesome, scenery-wise, to land at. And then you'll either fly out of San Francisco or Los Angeles, maybe do a SFO to Salt Lake City. Yeah, let's do that. Always worth a giggle. Alright, so we're coming up on top of descent. What are my constraints to have it? See if we're close enough to pick up what the weather is doing. Berlin? Are we close? I don't think we're close enough. I think that's probably right there. Yeah, right enough. Let's see if I can. I'll just get the meta from EDDT. Meta. So currently it's Havoc. That's good. Temperature's 22. Alright, let's start putting in some destination data. So QNH of 1020, I don't know what that is. 1020 is 3013. 3013. Temperature at Berlin is 22 with a dew point 12. And the wind is variable at 2 knots, so let's put 260 at 2 knots. And we're not doing a full wireless approach. Collided down, so I'm dealing with 300 feet. Perfect, alright. We are about 6 miles from top of descent. I'm going to start early. Oops. And we'll just slowly start the descent process. I'm going to rewind the time of day a little bit so we've got some more daylight. I think it's a better thing. The squiggly line means that that's the intercept point for our descent profile, which we're slightly below right now because the donut's up there, but then we should intercept that in around about what, 3 miles perhaps, 2 and a bit, and then we're good and gravy. Alright, so everything's looking good so far. Nothing to worry about here. Quickly review our approach. Turn there, hello. What happened then? Oh, excuse me, something not showing up. Right, yeah, there. Yep, that's good. Final descent approach from something else there. Now go around. How did we be in the descent? It was cold and south. Okay. Straightforward enough. Right, we're now coming up to 20,000 feet. Oh, let's just make sure that this has got a 5,000 feet transition altitude. Yes, it does. Alright, that's good. Sometimes it thinks it's in the States. To report. coming up on my ortho tiles soon. Where are they? Ah, here's one. There's the boundary. So from here on in, it's wonderful, wonderful ortho tiles. Right, that's Berlin Airport over there. Berlin Tegel's just behind it. So, here's the left-hand turn, and to Armas. Coming up on a decel point right now, so we can get ready to turn the exterior lights of the landing variety. So our speed's now going to bug down from about 271, I think 272, down to 250. There it goes. Still 300 feet above 10,000, so. As we hit 250, let's just go and throw them on right now, and they're done. So I'm going to pop the seatbelts back on, so that everybody can finish going to the bathroom. Make their way back to their seats, because we'll be landing very shortly at Berlin. And I can't promise that it won't be a bumpy landing. Alright, now we can have a look and make sure. EDDB, no, we want EDDT. Alright, now with the Flight Factor A320, the ILS is automatically tuned when you select the runway on the FMC. So we'll be landing 26 right, 110.1. That's fine. Let's just check what the weather is like. Altimeter is 3012, so let's go program. Okay, that's good. Wind light and variable. They are taking arrivals on 26 left and right, which is fine. Fly over. Where are we going to fly over? It's another airport at Berlin, it's EDDB. Oh, for heaven's sake, come on now. There we go. Brandenburg, that's it. Berlin Brandenburg Airport. About to fly over it. Actually, we're literally about to fly over it. Never actually been to Brandenburg Airport. It looks, it's just absolutely bolt standard X-Plane 11 default scenery. It doesn't look too bad though. Large apron there, and any airplanes there. I guess when we're actually there and landed up on it. Maybe more static airplanes. I guess they maybe don't render until you actually landed there. Yeah, that didn't look too bad. Standard out of the box plane there. Not bad at all. Brandenburg Airport. Alright, so let's have a gander. Doing alright, there's our airport over there, look. That is Berlin Airport. Berlin, Tegel Airport. And we are landing 26 right, which is just there. Alright, so let us now go ahead and set auto brakes to medium. I'm going to have the fan on. We don't need flaps just yet, but we are going to set the ground spoilers to armed. Speed is now bowed down, or bugged itself down to 220 knots because we've got a speed constraint. Yeah, 220 knots right now, so that's fine. Literally flying over Berlin now. I do believe that the next update, 11.3 for X-Plane, is going to have varied auto-gen buildings, because it sometimes does look a little repetitive. I do like that we've got, you know, large office blocks and high rises and things, but some of these do look a little samey. Kind of end up with that kind of blocky, all samey look. Alright, so oh, yep, let's set our QNH to, sorry, 3012. 5000, we actually could just scoot straight across almost to DT454 and skip these last two sections right here. In fact, let's perhaps do that, otherwise we're going to take in this unnecessarily long section of the, actually, you know what else we're going to do? We're going to set flaps 1. So we're not pointing up practically 45 degrees. Alright, that's good. Yeah, we're definitely going to take this shortcut. Once we get over to here, we're just going to go straight over, fly direct to 454. I wonder if it's armed approach already. No, it hasn't. Okay, fair enough. But what is our VAPS 134? We're gonna let it. I'm gonna let the plane manage the speed. Throttle in and let it manage speed. 454 is right there. We're at 49. What's the speed constraint at 454? There isn't one. 220 knots, so 4,000. We drop 1,000 feet in, what's that, 5 miles? Yeah. Sharp, be alright. Alright, so I'll get that ready to program. There's another pot smoking festival going on down there, look. Whee! Fog. Alright, so yeah, we're definitely going to take that shortcut. So let's get that lined up, queued up, ready to go. 454. It's going to take us, actually, yeah, we're close enough, we can hit that right now. Uh-oh. Why has it jumped up? Why are you jumping right now? I have to control the speed myself. Not to worry. And we also want to be dropping on the old descent rate there. ILS system online. It should be 4,000 feet in a couple of miles, probably not even that. But that's alright. Alright, flap 1 should be 230 knots. Let's just double check that. Flaps 1, yeah, 230 knots. So let's have flaps 1 right now. Localizer is alive and registering. So as soon as we're lined up, I'm just going to engage approach. Good lord, we're almost very close to an overspeed right there. Nose up. Alright. Arm. Approach is armed. There's the runway right there, the airport. 3,000 feet is our final MCP altitude. So we don't need to be descending really. We are at 3.6 and we've got about 8 miles to run, so nose up a smidgy bit for that. Speed's now bleeding off nicely, that's good. Did I put the damn lights on? Yes, I did. I must forget to do that. Alright, so yeah, we are lined up. We have captured the localizer. The glide slope is coming up. 2.6 right is obviously the one on the right hand side. So it's right there. Just need a sun visor here to pop the bloody sun in my face. But it's alright. Picturesque landing at Berlin in the evening with not much cloud cover. Great stuff. Hello to everybody that's joined the stream. Wonderful to have you all here. Alright, now we're at 200. I'm going to put managed speed back in. And that's going to bug us up to about 208 knots. That's fine. Bring the range down a little. Let's just double check. Right, spoilers are armed. We're at flaps 1 currently. We don't need these on just yet because the gear's not down. We are approximately 7.5, 8 miles. And we're about to pick up the glide slope, which has just come alive. Anybody that's joined the stream just now, you are just in time to watch me completely balk this landing. What we'll do is we're going to get nice and established, nice and stabilised on the glide slope. We're going to let the plane fly most of the way down, and then at the last minute I'm going to jump in and take all the credit. Woo! Let's see if we don't end up splattering the plane right across the runway. But I think we're good. Right, we're about to hit the glide slope now. Glide slope is armed. Glide slope star. And any second now, we're starting to descend. We are on the glide slope. Great. So the speed's now bugged down to 181. So at this point, let's go ahead and set the go around altitude to 6,000, which is fine. I can't select flaps 2 yet, and we are still above flaps 27. So what I will do, as we are fast approaching, I'm going to lower the gear, and that's going to create a whole load of drag. Hopefully enough drag to drop us below 200 knots so we can select flaps 2, which we need to be doing very soon. Why is the speed not coming off still? Alright. Speed brakes out. 5 miles. So we drop below 200 knots. I can select flaps 2 and I'll put the speed brakes away. Right, there's flaps 2. On the checklist, medium for the speed brakes are on. Everything else is good and gravy. Speed is now bleeding off at a fair rate. Let's put the speed brakes away. Armed. Gear is down. Flaps 3. Yes!
Flaps.
Yes.
Flaps. Too fast.
Oh,
Too fast.
don't panic, we're fine. Flaps full. Autopilot disengaged.
Approaching.
Alright, we have control of the airplane now. Let's try and stay on the flight directives best we can. The speed is coming off at an alarming rate, which is good.
500.
Ooh, a little bit low. Let's get that nose up a bit. I've left the auto throttle on, so I don't have to worry about that. So we shouldn't be too bad. There isn't much wind either. So glad we managed to bleed off all that speed. Right, we're on.
100
The
above.
pappies are all good. 2 red and 2 white. We are on the glide slope. We are on the centre line.
Minimum.
Minimums continue.
100.
Slightly to the right. Down a bit.
50. 40. 30. 20. Retard.
Alright, there we go.
Retard. 5.
That's a long landing. Oh goodness me. Reverses are out. Okay, reverse green. Only 5,000 feet remaining. I don't know how we'll cope.
4,000.
Alright, Doris, calm
remaining.
down. Alright, manual braking. Let's come off at Romeo Whiskey. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Berlin. Specifically, Berlin Tegel. Alright, we have vacated the runway. Obviously at this point we can tell with no traffic. Or actually we'd tell ground that we vacated. Or sorry, we'd tell tower we vacated and they would tell us to contact ground. So
Approaching.
Oops,
0, 8, right.
Anybody's watching, do not use me as an example of how to fly an Airbus because you will screw things up or forget stuff. Alright, so let's track the speed brakes. Pop the flaps up to nothing. Yes, welcome to Berlin Tegel. Please follow Romeo Whiskey to the ramp. So that's what we're going to do. Right, so let's turn those off. Let's put our... We won't assume that there's a ground power unit available, so we'll go ahead and pop the APU on. Whoops! Pay attention to where you're going with me. Good lord. Alright, so once we get on the stand, we'll have a look at that landing, because it wasn't brilliant, but I mean, it wasn't I don't think anybody spilled anything. So we're all tidied up there. Airbus, that's set to TR. Sorry, set to TA only, so that's good. Flight directors are off, landing systems are off, that's on, they're on, that's good. The APU bleed on. Let's go ahead and park next to that British Airways Airbus right there. That looks good. As good a place as any. Let's slow down our 500 knot taxi to a slightly more legal. I believe it's 10 knots on the apron, so 10 knots it is. And yep, so that's where we want to go, right there. Actually, I'm going to slow down a little bit more. Let's get rid of that error. Whoa. So yeah, I can land a plane, but well, barely land a plane, but parking it, oh heavens. Now, there's no marshaller here, so I've got to line up as best I can and try and get, I think it's out the window. Use this board right here. Make sure we're lined up. Where it says A320, which is, which one is it? Oh my god! Oh, it's that one. We're okay. Right, so we're still green now. A320. Or it could be that one. It could be that one. Well, that's close enough. That will do. Alright, so we have arrived. Actually, no, beacon stays on until... So all of these lights can go off. I can turn the engines off. Let's turn the interior lights on. The engines are off, so the beacon can go off. Passenger sides can go off. And yeah, we may have to throw a plank across from the airplane to the jetway, but other than that, that wasn't too bad a landing. Don't think. Let's have a look. Let's go back a wee bit. Maybe there. There we go. So let's cue that up a little. Not that far. About there. So yeah, it wasn't too bad. Not my best effort. I don't think it. Yeah, let's just pretend that the speed brakes weren't out at this point and that I managed to manage my speed a little better than I did. Otherwise, not too bad, not too shabby. Let's have a look if we can get the tower view. There it is. It's the combination there. Nice little wing shot. I don't even know what the landing rate was. I know it was way too long. If we get anywhere near 100, that's fine.
400. 300.
Geronimo!
200. 100.
Not too bad, we were on speed. more or less on the centre line. There's a touchdown zone, and yeah, we're well over it. Long landing. Yeah, that'll do. Not too bad. Not too bad. So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Berlin. Has been emotional. And for some reason, we seem to have, yes, this is a new Airbus variant. It's called the A320, and yeah. Oh well. A short hop from Frankfurt to Berlin. Lovely jubbly. Thank you all very much for tuning in. It has been emotional, and I shall catch you all on the next hop.